Android and iPhone users welcome. BlackBerry and Windows Phone users, we will accept you. The podcast going beyond the headlines. This is the Goopplycast. Now the host, Matthew Carter.
Hey everyone, you're listening to the Goopplycast. Welcome. If you're watching us live, thank you for joining us. And if you're watching us or listening to us after our live show, thanks for spending some of your time with us. I'm your host, Matt Carter, and on this show with me today is Matt Evans. Hey, Matt.
Hello.
As well as Roy Schlapinski. Hey, Roy.
Hi.
And Tim Van Claveren. Hey, Tim.
Hello.
So today, guys, we will be talking about the iPhone 12 Pro Max now that Roy has received his, and we'll also be sharing some of our holiday gift ideas, which my holiday gift ideas are like things that I have found useful, like incredibly useful throughout 2020, and ones that I want to share with you guys to hear what you guys might think about incorporating them into your lives. Not that you have to, though you should. And I'm also really curious to hear what you guys picked, because I've seen some of the images that you guys posted in our group chat, so I'm curious what brought about some of those suggestions. But would you guys first like to talk about the iPhone 12 Pro Max, the new hotness?
I'm sure Roy is ready to talk about it.
So this is the iPhone 12 Pro Max right here. To give you an idea of how giant this thing is, this is my iPhone 10, and it is that much bigger than my iPhone 10. I can actually get this nice and straight. So it's quite a bit of real estate bigger.
It's like 3/4 of an inch smaller in height, it looks like.
Yeah, just about. And it's heavy too. That was my first real impression of it when I took it out of the box, was just how heavy this thing was. But I mean, it's beautiful. The screen is so much more vivid and bright than the iPhone 10, which is what is that now? Technically 4 generations older. 11, 10s, 10. So yeah, 3 or 4 generations older. I was sending Matt some pictures that I took the other day. The picture quality on it is just phenomenal. Both the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max have just amazing photos. My battery life on it has been great. I kind of tweeted about it the first day that I had it at work, and let's see if I can pull up some of those numbers really quick. So I did some speed tests before I went to work. So in Everett, I was pulling 54.9 megabytes per second down. At Shoreline, I was pulling 109 megabytes per second down. To give you a reference, my iPhone 10, I was lucky if I could get over 20 megabytes per second down, but it's old and didn't want to read my SIM card right to begin with. So
that's crazy.
Whatever.
109 is pretty fantastic.
Yeah. When I got off work at 5 p.m., I was still at 61% battery life, and that was with 5 hours average. Well, I guess that actually averages it over the last 24 hours, but in the last 24 hours, I had used the screen for 5 hours, a little over 5 hours, but I barely used my phone the night before. When I had gone to bed, I didn't post this on Twitter, but I hadn't even gotten below 20% by the time I went to bed at 11 o'clock at night. And I did not stick my phone on the charger once the entire day. So it definitely lasted me all day. Yesterday, when I did put it on the charger to and from work, I texted you last night, Matt, and I was at like 90%.
Yeah, you were.
So the battery on it is so much better. With my iPhone 10 in the smart battery case, I was lucky to make it above 20% by the end of the day with charging. So, fantastic phone.
What were you getting? What were you getting out of your iPhone 10? You said on a normal day with your battery pack, you were getting.
I would probably make it roughly by 8 or 9 o'clock at night. I'd be at 20% or lower. Like it would already trigger low battery mode by that point in time. which I wasn't able to get to that point with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And once I got home from work, I was on it a lot, whether I was reading or browsing social media or watching something after the kids went to bed. So, I mean, I was on it fairly heavily. Partway through season 2 of How to Get Away with Murder, by the way, Matt.
Oh, really?
Phenomenal. It just keeps getting better. Like I'm like, after you described it, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go check this out. And
Yeah,
I got hooked. I put Servant, which I was watching off of recommendation from Matt, on hold because that just sucks me right in. And now I'm kind of balancing the two shows. But
yeah, it's a super engrossing show. Great casting.
Oh
and,
yeah.
great like sets and action and great cinematography too. Really, really fun show.
Which leads me to another thing. Consuming media on this phone is awesome. The aspect ratio of it actually is pretty good. Without zooming in on the photo on the shows to fill up the entire screen, there's very little black bars on either side. Like it almost goes completely up to the notch in widescreen mode. So, I mean, zooming in is almost not even necessary if you want to fill up the whole screen. Like you barely notice the screen isn't completely filled up. And it's a gorgeous 6.7-inch display. Tried a little bit of video games on it, played a little bit of Genshin Impact just to see what that was like on it. Having the larger screen is nice for gaming. Going from the smaller iPhone 10 screen, where there's not as much room for your thumbs to move around and still be able to see a lot of what's going on around you. Overall, I'm very happy. I'm glad I waited for it. I think this is an amazing phone. If you want an iPhone with a bigger screen, this is definitely the way to go. 100%.
I'm curious, have you taken any videos with it? Because you were talking about like consuming media, playing video games. That all sounds like crisp and an enjoyable experience. I'm curious what like recording video has been like.
I haven't recorded any video yet. I haven't had any days off since I've gotten it, and I have Wednesday, Thursday off, and I plan on trying to get out and about as much as I can. Maybe go somewhere with the kids that is obviously socially distanced acceptable, and try to get more real life shots that aren't indoors at night. Some middle of the day shots. Get some video in. I know some of the reviews I've watched where they show the video, the stabilization on it is just amazing. There was Your Average Consumer did the day in the life, and he jogged with the video stabilization. You could barely tell he was jogging. Like it was just so smooth.
Yeah, I saw a guy, I can't remember what channel he's from. He like flew in a helicopter up to the top of a mountain and was holding the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and then I think it was the iPhone 11 Max, like side by side, like comparing the image stabilization. It was like night and day how well the 12 Pro Max did. It was pretty remarkable. Like, I was very, very impressed.
Well, the image stabilization on it is one of the few things that separates the Pro Max from the Pro. There's not a whole lot. I mean, obviously, other than body size and battery size, they're almost identical. One's got like the telephoto zoom goes 2.5 instead of 2, and it's got the special image stabilization where it actually stabilizes the sensor on it, and I think that's really the only real difference between the Pro and the Pro Max. Matt could probably correct me if I'm wrong. So, I mean, even seeing the difference between the Pro and the Pro Max, I think would be super interesting on a day-to-day basis. How much of a difference it would really make for your average person that's just shooting run-of-the-mill video. Maybe next time Matt and I can manage to get together, we can kind of see how that works out.
I'd love to see that too in comparison to like Pixel phones, to see how the video and the picture quality compares to like your guys' Pixels, to see how that comes out.
Yeah, and I don't want to.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say I don't want to give away because I've actually been working on a video review for my iPhone 12 Pro during quarantine. So I've been actually taking pictures with my Pixel to compare it versus it's a Pixel 4 XL, so it's not the Pixel 5, but to compare it versus the iPhone 12 Pro. So I plan to put all those together for a video review of it, and I think overall I like the iPhone. I'll just tell you now, I like the iPhone 12 camera better. I haven't done video yet on it, other than a few small little videos and stuff like that. But I do plan on doing some more video testing as well. Also, with comparison to the Pixel 4 XL.
See, I have not done any photo comparison with my Pixel. I've just been, getting to know the Pro Max and enjoying it. But I would be very disappointed if the Pro Max doesn't produce. I mean, obviously, you're going to be subjective to which, the way the color balance works between the Pixel and the iPhone. But with the LiDAR sensor in the Pro and Pro Max, I would be disappointed if the portrait mode photos specifically weren't very noticeably different than the Pixel, because the whole point of the LiDAR sensors provide that depth of field. If you're using it with photography, the point of it is to provide a better depth of field of depth, something like that.
Depthy field.
Yeah.
I have been seeing some like camera comparisons pop up between like the 12 Pro Max and the Galaxy Note 20. So I've seen some like blind, at least photo comparisons. Those have not been overwhelmingly in the 12 Pro Max's favor, which has been surprising to me. It's kind of evenly distributed which ones look better in what scenarios. Though I will say that from what I've seen, the Pro Max look much better than most cameras in dark lighting and like night shots and things like that. That is it has like a distinct higher quality from what I've seen.
And the Samsung Galaxy 20 20, the 10 models that they have of it is actually a pretty decent phone, even compared to the iPhone 12 Pro. So I still like the iPhone 12 Pro better, but you can't outrule Samsung. They made a great phone with that S20. So in comparison, Tim, what do you normally get battery life on your iPhone 11? You have 11, right?
No, my work phone is iPhone 8. Yes.
iPhone 8.
Yeah.
What do you normally get on your iPhone 8? Just curious.
Battery life, man, I would say typically lasts 3 days without 3 days without charging. But I don't use it super a lot, just for checking emails and receiving spam calls. That's it. So yeah, about 3 days.
Do you take it with you wherever you go, or
only when on call? Otherwise, it stays at home, or if I'm at the office, I bring it with.
Got it. And Matt, what do you get on your phone for battery life? I'm just curious from an Android side of things.
I get maybe 6 hours. The battery is definitely on its last legs. And because of that, I've kind of switched off of using it frequently because it doesn't have the apps that I'm using right now to kind of manage some of the writing that I'm doing for a D&D campaign that I'm managing. So I'm back into the heavy Android camp right now.
Nice. So I'm just curious, now that both phones have been released, what is your main, like, if you were going to go out and buy a new phone next week or tomorrow, what are your top features that you would want in a phone?
I would say for me, big battery life's important, but I would say fast charging is even more important because I'm more close to outlets, so I can quickly plug in my phone for 30 minutes and get a full battery. I'd say fast charging would be a must. What else? I would say 90 hertz screen. I have that on my current phone, and I don't want to ever go back to 60 hertz.
I still haven't seen a 90 hertz screen.
It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And then last thing would, I don't know what the last one would be.
What would you say for size? Like, would you want a smaller screen, a bigger screen? So considering that the iPhone 12 Pro is a 6, let's just say you were getting an iPhone. The iPhone is a 12 Pro Max is 6.7 inch. There's 6.1 inch for the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro, and then there's 5.4 inches, right, Roy, for the mini?
That sounds about
5.8
right.
inches or 5.
Yeah,
5.4.
If only there was a way we could figure that out.
Which out of those, if you were choosing from those models and based on the screen size, which would you prefer?
I'd say the mini. I think, yeah, I'd say the mini. I prefer smaller phone screens. Bigger phone screens are nice, but I kind of want to go back to a small screen.
I remember you with
5.4.
your Nexus. You were very attached to that.
Yeah. Yep.
I would probably go with like a 6.1 inch screen. I like the extra real estate. I like watching videos in the largest screen possible without the phone getting so big that it's hard to like slide into a pocket that doesn't stick out. It's not something that if you put in your back pocket and you like sit in the car or something like that, you have to worry about bending it or breaking it. Like the Galaxy Note or the Galaxy 8 Plus. I can't remember its screen size. I'll look it up, but that's about the screen size that I have enjoyed so far. The 6S, good screen size, but I think the rounded corner form factor is not something that I'm fond of.
And would you prefer, like, what would be the selling points for you? Battery life, camera, like what would be top of the list for your feature wise?
I would definitely want good drop resistance, regardless of whether or not I have a case. Sometimes I don't like having it in a case because I like the actual feel of a phone and I like it being able to like slide in and out of a pocket really easily. So great drop resistance is something that is very important to me. Also, I really like the idea of reverse charging. If I could get that in a phone, that would be fantastic. So the ability to charge another phone or to charge wireless headphones, anything NFC, that would be something that would attract me. And for a third feature, I've started to like sketch on my tablet computer a lot more. So I would probably look into phones that come with some kind of stylus, probably one that I didn't have to buy separately, one that tucks into the phone, because being able to take notes and kind of write my thoughts out rather than like type it out with fingers has been something that has drawn me to use my tablet PC more than taking like notes on my phone.
Yeah. So I'll just tell you from my side of things, from downgrading from the Pro Max, the 11 Pro Max to the iPhone 12 Pro, I have tried to change the way I use my phone. Use it more for texting, use it more for calling. I've been trying to limit the amount of video that I watch on there and instead watching on my iPad or my Mac. And then try to do more productivity things on there. So I set up productivity features and stuff like that for adding things to my calendar, to keeping my reminders present so that it's more of a tool rather than a device that I would use to like watch stuff on. Like, don't get me wrong, like when I'm on the ferry, I watch or I'll scroll through tweets or Facebook or whatever and stuff like that. But I've been trying to do more, and obviously Instagram, because you can't really do much on Instagram on the web. But those are just kind of the way that I've switched things up, instead of using it as a device. And I've actually been using my Pixel actually more too to watch videos on as well.
You're
just
migrating away from using your iPhone 12 Pro as a media consumption device?
Yeah, more or less, because I have an iPad. Okay, so I have an iPad. We're still kind of in quarantine. I work from home every day. I'm at home most of the day. So I don't feel like I need to sit there and watch, videos on a small screen when I have, two 32-inch monitors in front of me. I have a TV right here. I got an iPad here. Like I it's more of a tool now for me rather than a device that I would carry around with me everywhere around the house, and watch things. And don't get me wrong, I still like to sit in bed and watch, TikTok videos or stuff that I can't do on, an iPad or a computer and stuff. But I've tried to drift away from watching YouTube videos on my iPhone and more or less on bigger devices and stuff. So
okay, but let's pretend that the year is 2034 and we finally get out of lockdown.
I like that as a setup.
Do you feel that you want a bigger screen at that point? Like, I guess my question is, do you think if the smaller screen,
I have to give a sidebar to this, because if you're saying 2034, if Apple hasn't released, if someone hasn't released smart glasses of some kind that are like at least decently serviceable by that time, something will have gone wrong.
Yeah.
How are they going to do that if we're all in quarantine?
But barring that.
Okay.
Barring that,
if I was back, so before quarantine, I commuted every day on a ferry, 35-minute ferry ride, 15-minute bus ride to work. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I would have gotten the 12 Pro Max for sure, because that's, pretty much my main device on the ferry. It's my main device on the bus. I'm not going to pull out my tablet, or whatnot on the bus and sit there and watch on a giant screen or whatnot. So yeah, I would definitely, but the times have changed right now, and I just don't feel like I need that Pro or Pro Max device right now. And I absolutely would if my lifestyle was different than it was now. But from being at home, most of the time, besides going on walks, going to the grocery store, stuff like that, my travel has really changed a lot.
So your acceptance of being okay with the smaller screen is 100% fueled by lockdown and quarantine.
I wouldn't say lockdown and quarantine. It's just based on my lifestyle right now.
Everything that's going on.
Yeah. I'm adapting to this. But for example, let's say that quarantine's lifted. Yeah. Okay. Let's say that I still I'm back to working from the office. Let's say I don't end up going back to the office, and I stay at home and I work from home and transition. I would be perfectly happy with an iPhone 6.1 inch display. Like, that doesn't bother me, because I don't feel like I need that real estate when I'm, spending a good eight hours of my day at home. It would be nice when I travel, but again, I normally bring my iPad with me when I travel on flights and stuff like that. So my iPad sits in front of me. I like the bigger screen. When I'm out, my wife is always that I'm on my phone all the time. So pushing that away, and having a smaller screen, I'm less likely to fall back into that lifestyle area, I would say. So overall, I think that
I'm not fighting that anymore. That
Good.
What's the cat's name?
This is Leonidas, or Leo for short.
Great name.
Rescued him.
You don't want to grab her. You don't want to grab her and hold her up to your face in front of the camera.
Leo's
Queen Leonidas.
It's a he. It's a he. Leo's a pretty chill cat. You can carry him around like a baby, on his back, and he will not care whatsoever. The kids do it all the time, and he is just 100% chill with it. So I could do whatever, and Leo would just think that it is the coolest thing ever.
Very smooth looking gray cat too. Gray cat with white feet, white boots kind of thing.
Yeah, and he's still very much a kitten. He is getting into everything he can right now. He doesn't come out here very often, so there's a rabbit out here too. So he's over there trying to terrorize the rabbit, and
oh my goodness,
just being a kitten.
So if you're listening on the podcast, Roy is in his garage. I should mention this for the people that aren't watching us live. But Roy is in his garage and he has a window behind him, and his cat keeps jumping up and down and jumping on his desk and crawling around all around in the garage. So anyways, so all I was saying though is that just overall, like the lifestyle in my life has changed. If I went back to being a regular commuter every day to work, then I think the iPhone 12 Pro Max would be my device. But at this point in time, that's not the case.
Yeah.
So
There's something to be said about being home more often, having access to larger screens constantly, and not needing, not being in a scenario where your phone is your only screen or the only portal you have into your content. Because you might be at work, you might have a computer screen in front of you, but you might not feel comfortable using that for like your own personal browsing or whatever.
Yeah.
And like for me, like I said, I've transitioned more into using like my phone as a portal to like productivity rather than a social media or something phone. And I've been using like my tablet and my desktop much more frequently than my cell phone, just because it has a better a better experience for like watching and consuming and doing all that stuff. I've used Facebook on the desktop. God.
And I've been using it more for productivity too, and I've created more shortcuts like on my desktop so that I don't actually Apple has a shortcuts app. It's made by Apple, but it basically it pops up with a window prompt, and I can type in my things to do list or add to the grocery list without even opening up the app, so that I don't go in there and see it. I can post a Twitter on it without looking at the app. So I can make a shortcut where it pulls up the tweet box, and then I can type the tweet without going into actually seeing what's on Twitter, because then I get sucked into it, and then I my productivity goes down. So I've been working on ways to better utilize that in more of a productivity tool rather than a entertainment device. So
sounds like you need OnePlus's Zen Mode. Right, Tim?
What is that? I've never heard of it.
When you set up Zen Mode, you tell it how long you want to be in Zen Mode, and it will not let you do anything on your phone for that amount of time. No matter what you do, you can turn off your phone, turn it back on. It will not let you into your phone.
Things I've thought about.
You can make emergency calls, and that is basically it. I think that's it, isn't it, Tim?
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah.
It's like a super distraction-free mode.
There is a mode on my phone. I love it and I hate it at the same time. If I'm on my phone too late, my screen turns black and white. Like if it's too late, it wants me to go to bed, so everything's black and white, no matter what it is. Anything. I'll be like watching TikTok and they'll all be black and white.
Which I hope you can turn off.
You can if you slide down, but I try not to. It's a good reminder.
Digital well-being.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my because with WatchOS 7 and iOS 14, you can WatchOS now tracks your sleep. So I actually wear my watch to bed often. So I've set up my bedtime mode, which they've had for, I want to say 2 years in iOS. But my watch will buzz at me and be like, hey, it's 30 minutes till bedtime. It's time for you to wind down.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no.
I do that often. I do that often too. So
I had a Fitbit I used to wear, and it would always remind me to go to bed. Even if I was asleep, it would wake me up to remind me to go to bed. That was the stupidest watch ever.
It's time to go to bed.
Stop telling me what I'm not doing, smartwatch. I know.
So, Roy, if you had to give the iPhone a rating right now, based on your first impressions, what would you give it?
I mean, right now I'm over the moon and happy with it. I would probably give it a 4.5 out of 5, and it's only going to lose that half a star because it's so big and it's not one-handable, and I knew that going into it. That's perfectly fine. But there's something to be said about being able to operate a phone with one hand and not needing two hands to type or something like that. If I were to get a new phone other than the Pro Max, it would only be because the Pro Max is not able to be used by one hand. That is the one and only gripe, and it's a stupid gripe because once again, I got the bigger screen because I wanted the bigger screen.
Right.
I'm not really upset that I can't one-handed. It's just you're not going to be. It just proves that you can't get 100% of what you want 100% of the time. You know, obviously, I took the one downside with the phone that I had for all the upsides that I got, and that's the only reason I would dock it, because it's not perfect. You know, I can't one-hand it. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close.
I remember during the live show, you were telling Matt what your first thoughts were when you opened the phone, and you were like, "This is a big phone." And I was like, "Oh no!"
And if you watch every YouTuber review, that's what they say. This is a giant phone. This is
a heavy phone. And you were like, "I'm holding up like a seltzer water can. It's heavier than the can." And I was like,
"It was." And I mean, I got the case before I got the phone, so I knew what I was getting into.
You saw the footprint of the monster.
The flat edges. You know, there are some people out there who are like, the flat edges make it harder to hold. I think the flat edges make it easier to hold in one hand. You know, I get a little bit more stability over what I'm holding. If those were rounded sides, my fingers would not be able to grip this as well. I think that Apple made the right choice going with the flat sides while slightly increasing the footprint without making it so obtrusive to hold. You know what I'm saying? If it had rounded sides and it was this size, it would definitely be a lot harder to handle while I'm walking around. Because I mean, I'll like scroll Facebook or Twitter or whatnot one-handed. Things that I can do one-handed. And if it had rounded sides, I would not feel as comfortable walking around while doing that. Don't walk around and look at your Twitter feed. Keep your eyes up, please.
One of the things, I think you said this before we started the podcast, but I think is relevant to people, is you were talking about how the leather case that you have on your iPhone right now was digging into your finger.
So the bottom of it, you can see it has the cutouts for the grill and the ports and the microphone and whatnot. The silicone case is flat and it just has little dot perforations for the grills and then the cutout for the lightning port. So when I hold my phone like this, and you can see that my finger basically rests right up against this grill like all the time. And with the leather case, which is an amazing case, it feels great in the hand. It feels great to hold. It looks great. I do like leather cases. The buttons are amazing. However, that little hole digs into my finger, and with how heavy this phone is, that gets to be a little bit of annoying. I'm constantly going back to the silicone case if I know I'm going to be out and about and I'm going to use my phone more. When I'm at home, it's a little bit different because I can set my phone down and use it a lot more on the table. If I'm out and about and I'm going to be holding my phone a lot more, the silicone case is a lot easier on the hand because my pinky's starting to hurt right there.
Okay.
So, not to change the subject, but I found a downside to your phone, Roy. So, Roy signed up for the Apple upgrade program where you can upgrade every year.
Oh, yes, the Apple subscription service. Great.
Yeah. So, if Apple goes back to their original launch date of September, you'll have to wait 2 months before you get your upgrade next year.
Instead of 1 month that you'll have to wait.
Yeah, or I'll just pay the 1 month fee to upgrade early. You'll have to pay two or 3 months.
So you're talking about that there's an off-cycle. This year was an off-cycle release.
Yeah. So
yes,
the iPhone
played them because of COVID.
Yeah. So the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro, and the iPhone Mini and the iPhone 12 were all delayed. So if you got an iPhone 12 Pro or an iPhone 12, you got it in October. You would normally get the device late September, and the same thing for the iPhone Mini and the iPhone 12 Pro Max came out in November. So those people, if they were on the upgrade program, are going to have to wait an extra 2 months before they get their phone.
Oof. It's a tough
Semantics.
wait.
It's heartbreaking. You know, I feel like sometimes if you want to get that new device on that day, and you know, because of the late release or whatever, it's going to be. Don't get me wrong, because when I originally switched to the iPhone upgrade program, I had that problem. So my iPhone, I think it was X, so the iPhone XS Max is when I upgraded, but I upgraded a month after it came out, and I think the following year for the 11, I had to pay an extra month's fee first before I could upgrade to that. So I only had to pay 1 month versus 2 months. But
yeah, I remember because when they announced the XS and XS Max, originally you weren't going to upgrade because there really wasn't a huge difference between the 10 and the XS. You only upgraded because you went with the XS Max, which you were on the fence about because you weren't sure that you would want a phone that big. I do remember that. I was like, I know Matt's going to upgrade. I know he's going to upgrade because he's going to want the newest phone. And you upgraded.
Well, the iPhone upgrade program is just so much worth it. Like it, you know, you get Apple Care with it. You can bundle it with or without Apple Care, but you get Apple Care with it. You get that peace of mind that if you drop it or you break it or whatever, you can take it into Apple and get it fixed, as opposed to Samsung or Google devices. You have to find some third party and pay a bunch of money out to get them to fix it. But and then I simply like the fact that I can upgrade every year to the new phone or not. You know, I haven't stopped upgrading. I did upgrade this year from last year, but you know, if next year comes around and I'm not really feeling it, I can decide not to or not. So, but just my thoughts.
Good to know going forward. In that case, was there anything else you guys wanted to point out about the 12 Pro Max? Because if not, we can move on to the holiday gift ideas.
Nothing for me. I think we're good. I
think we covered everything we need to cover.
All right. In that case, so we talked about bringing up some gift ideas. We've got Black Friday coming up. We've got holiday shopping. Lots of sales are going to be happening throughout the next couple months, both online and in brick and mortar stores if they are open and available. So we thought, why not take a look and see what might think people would think is cool. So first, I'm curious about what Tim showed us in the group chat. I'm curious to hear Tim's thoughts about what he posted.
Let me open his up.
Let
me open his up. Let me open his up. Hold on just a minute here. Let me get his.
Oh, sure.
You want to just start from top to bottom on the list, Tim?
Yeah.
That work? Okay. I'm gonna try and do this. Oops. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm trying not to kill the live stream because I'm running it. I'm running it, and I'm trying to run the dashboard, and I'm trying to run everything at the same time. So I'm gonna do this so I don't accidentally hit the wrong button.
You're doing a great job. Everything is going good so far. No explosions, no accidental shutoffs.
Already, okay. Tim.
Right. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this, I don't have this device or anything like that. I just think it's a cool looking wallet because you can, it just holds all your cards, and it, I think it protects you from, what's it called? Like the wireless, the RFID.
RFID.
Yep. So also it's carbon fiber, which looks nice, and holds up all your cards. It has a little thing for cash. I just think it looks cool.
It has a cool carbon fiber design, and these kind of minimalist wallets are relatively popular right now.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of different brands offering this style wallet. I see it being innovated on Kickstarter a bunch. RFID is like one of the things that they wind up including in here, and this kind of has like an industrial-ish carbon fiber design. It has a nice, like, meaty-looking metal clip too.
Yeah. I think it's a cool device for anyone that's in the market for a wallet. I've always wanted to get one of these.
Yeah, so if you're listening on the podcast later on, we'll put the links in the description below too in the show notes.
If you're listening and married to Tim,
exactly, that's a good this is a good wish list for.
I don't know if I can get rid of my wallet because I got it from Australia, so it's like it's special, but that's a cool wallet.
Well, yeah. I switch my wallet up quite often, so I actually use a wallet, different wallet every week generally. So
interesting. I am trying to go the least amount of things with me as possible, so my phone is my wallet.
Yeah, so I've actually
beat to hell.
I actually switched out. I'm doing so the iPhone 12 Pro has a Snap-on MagSafe wallet.
Yeah.
And I actually bought a knockoff version off of Amazon.
Oh, interesting.
Let me see if I can find it. Because you can't find the one.
I really, really want to know what color you wound up getting.
So I actually got the blue. I think I got the blue or the black. Let me see here. Hold on.
Okay. You wanted to go with as matching as possible to the tone of the blue phone that you got, huh?
Yeah, so I went with
probably slightly more secure than having a wallet that like stands out on the back of your expensive phone.
Yeah. So I got the blue one and I got the brown one. So I have the brown.
Okay.
And I got the blue. I got them from two different suppliers. The first one was from China. And then I realized it was from China. I found another one on Amazon that ships a little quicker. So I ordered the blue one from Amazon. I ordered the brown one from China. But anyway, so let me pull up here. Hold on. Let me pull up Tim's next item. Stand by here.
Testing. 1, 2. I'm gonna look at the advanced notes. Oh yes. Oh good.
Okay. So this, if you like building stuff and you like doing DIY projects and you want to get into home automation or really anything, I love my Raspberry Pi. I use it all the time. I actually have it set up as a security camera, so I have a USB webcam plugged into it, and that's my security camera. And the Raspberry Pis have gotten super beefy. This one, for like $20 more, you can upgrade to the 8 gigs of RAM, and this comes with everything you possibly need for it. So this is like perfect for if you want to do home assist, like a smart home server.
So
you can do that.
For somebody that doesn't know what this is, I'm asking for a friend. What is this? I'm just curious.
This is a Raspberry Pi. It's a tiny credit card sized computer that is typically you could install Linux onto it. Raspbian is typically the OS that you would install, and that's a version of Linux. Pretty TLDR, it's a tiny computer. That's pretty much exactly what it is.
That you can like customize to your heart's content.
Yeah, you can do anything. You could even put a Plex server on this. Like you can do really anything with this computer.
So with this, we wouldn't need Apple servers. What you're telling me?
Exactly. You could get like 7 of these.
You could set this up and upload your photos to it.
Yes, you don't have to pay Google Photos stupid ridiculous fee, and you can use this instead. You can make a NAS. You can do endless possibilities.
So it supports USB-C. No, C is for the power.
Yeah.
And then it has 2 HDMI ports. Is this just for monitors or?
So these one, I think this particular one can do 4K. I think they've gotten pretty intense. So you can do, I think, 4K.
Yeah, 4K system on a chip, so like 4K built into like the processing capabilities of Raspberry Pis. I've seen that increase in spread, I guess, among systems like this.
Interesting.
Cool.
Very cool.
I just have one more question. So it has a 32 gig SD card here.
Mhm.
So it runs off of SD cards basically?
Correct. Yeah, you can install your OS on there, and then your pretty much your OS sits on there, and you can plug in, depending on the OS you're running, you can plug in external hard drives into it and use that as a mass storage. But otherwise,
could you run Chrome OS on this?
I think there's probably a version of Chrome OS built for it.
Interesting.
I just want this now just to play around with it.
I do. I kind of just do too. Like, I think it would be fun to play around with and kind of see what you can build with.
Yeah. At my old job, I wanted to fix a problem with because we sent a lot of copiers out to we had a copier on Mount Rainier, and and every time we had a problem with it, we had to drive there to fix it, and it would be something simple. So instead, we just bought several of those Raspberry Pis and deployed them with a remote program onto them, and then we just told them plug them in, and then we'll do the rest. And then they plug them in, connect to the internet, and then we're able to remote into the printer and fix everything. We did that.
Raspberry Pi would be good for like coding on also, and like making programs and doing that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Nice. Alrighty, here we go with the next.
So these are blue light glasses. These are actually what I wear right now. They're not prescription glasses at all. They block blue light. I used to get headaches almost every day after work because I'm staring at a computer screen all day long. And I started wearing these. I no longer have headaches because computer monitors radiate blue light typically, and that can hurt your eyes over time. And so everything's a little bit more yellow, but it's not like noticeably yellow. And so I wear them. I love them. I stand by them. They're awesome.
I also have blue light glasses on right now too. They're prescription ones though, but they do filter out blue light. So I can contest to that having a pair of blue light glasses is really nice.
And on top of protecting your eyes, it also aids in your ability to go to sleep. So like over the last 10 years, cell phone operating system makers have integrated like blue light blocking programs and technology into their phones, because if you're like having a phone straight up to your face while you're trying to sleep, the blue light blocks your production of melatonin, which is what you produce to help you go to sleep. And so wearing these blue light glasses more often would also kind of help you get tireder towards the end of the day.
And this thing.
What is
So this is
this I'm really excited about.
So this is a NAS. Yeah, this is PlayStation early edition. So this is a NAS. It stands for Network Attached Storage. Basically, it's pretty much a storage server that you leave plugged in all the time. You plug it in, you can use it wireless, or you can plug in directly over networking or Ethernet. And this allows you to access files on multiple different devices. So let's say you don't want to pay Google's stupid photo fee. You can upload your photos directly from your phone to this device. There is a Synology app you can download, and you can upload them anywhere in the world. You can upload your photos to it, and they'll all be stored locally on your network. And this particular model has the ability to run, I think it can run software. So if you wanted to do a Plex server, say you have a bunch of movies, you can put them all on there, and then it will act as a Plex server itself. And then you don't have to have a computer running. Of course, the Raspberry Pi, I recommend if you want to do, you can do the same thing with a Raspberry Pi, but if you don't want the confusion of a Raspberry Pi, this is a great option for getting a storage setup.
So does it come with an operating system on it, or is it just?
It's their own Synology's own operating system that they have. I think is based off Linux, but
so you wouldn't basically like put Windows 10 on this and
correct. I think I wonder if you can. I don't know.
Is there a way?
Is there a way? You want to avoid Windows 10 as much as you possibly can in all reality.
Probably.
But that's a great product. I've heard good things about it.
I have actually thought about getting one because I do want to do more video content and stuff like that, and so I'm just curious, the speeds though that you get on it, does it transfer pretty quickly like a normal device, or is it just depending on your network speeds?
It transfers, I think, pretty quickly. It has gigabit networking, so it transfers much faster than if it was over the internet. If it's locally on your network, it'll transfer relatively quickly. I would probably say I don't actually know how fast it is, but I would say pretty quickly.
It looks like it's equipped with USB 3.0, plus you have a networking cable to transfer over Ethernet. I would imagine it would be able to at least transfer pretty decently fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a version of these. I have a previous version of them, much older. I bought them in end of 2017 when I was starting working in Seattle, and I've used them every single day commuting to and from Seattle all the time up till not that long ago, and beginning of 2020. I've brought them with me every single day to work, and they worked. They're best headphones I've ever used, hands down. They work extremely well. I still use my pair to this day, even though they broke, kinda. I just used super glue and tape, and I fixed them, and they work very well. These ones in particular have a bunch of other cool features. Like there's an app you can download onto your phone, so you can control the audio levels and control a lot more settings.
This one says that it works with Alexa too.
Yes.
Voice control.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly how that works. I'd be curious, but they honestly, I've tried. I was gonna order Pixel Buds when they first came out, but I decided to cancel, and I just got these instead because the noise canceling has been the best, especially sitting on the light rail. And oh man, they're so
I have
so
a question about the noise canceling.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's a two-part question. Is the headset made out of plastic? First question.
Mm-hmm. It's
Or like the hinges plastic. So like basically when you're moving the headset around, you've got noise canceling on, you're listening to music. Is there a chance that you can hear the headset kind of maybe creaking or moving around while you're listening if you have to like adjust it?
So the hinges are plastic. I think there's metal on the inside of them, but the outside shell is plastic. I've never experienced while they're moving. I've never experienced them squeaking or anything like that.
I know it's a very specific question. I had a pair of, I forgot what the company was, Antec or Audio-Tech, something, Audio-Technica.
Yeah.
And one of the earphones, I don't know, the way that the hinge was manufactured, it just kind of like started to break apart, and I could always hear it when I like moved. It would creak as I just walked. It was a very awkward experience. But those look more comfortable and a lot better design than what I had.
Yeah, my wife must be watching because she just brought these in for me. So you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see it that well, but there's electrical tape is on here, because they snapped right here one day when I was picking them up to put them on. They both snapped on both sides, and so I put super glue in there and electrical tape. Otherwise, it doesn't squeak at all or anything like that when I do this, but you can kind of see a little bit of the metal. They're very worn out. They're extremely worn out from all the use I've had in these, but these have been the best headphones I've ever worn. I will wear them till the day they die. They're awesome.
What's the sound quality like? Is it heavy bass? Is it would you say, or
I wouldn't say overpowering bass. It's very well mixed. Back when Google Play Music allowed you to control the audio levels, I was able to control them pretty well. I think on like the newer models, you can control all that within the app. But now I use these still when I go on walks or when I go grocery shopping. The bass is not too bad. Because
I have the Beats Solo, the Beats Studio 3s, and they have a lot of bass with it. They are very well known for their bass, which I don't necessarily like. I do sometimes on different songs, but I would like something that would be able to control the audio inputs maybe a little better. So that might be, I might look at these. All right, and your last item here.
Oh, I think I remember. Yes. So this is the Microsoft Surface Go laptop. It's Microsoft's almost budget laptop that they have. I would not recommend you get the 8GB model because it's not 8 gigs. Sorry, I mean 4 gigs. I would not recommend you get the 4GB model because it's much slower. But if you
still sell laptops with 4 gigs of RAM?
Yeah, that surprised me. So if you upgrade, you pay a little bit more, you can get 8 gigs of RAM, and you're going to notice way better performance on this laptop. It's 120 gig, 28 gig SSD is not a lot, but it definitely will be able to do a few things. It's definitely not going to be a full-time main computer, but it's a great portable computer. And then for the price, I thought $700? 800?
$699, yeah.
$699 for $700. That's, I think, a really good price for what you're getting laptop wise. I know for a couple hundred more you could get a MacBook Air, but for $700, I don't know if there is a better Windows laptop out there.
Yeah, like I would
one that runs XP.
I would. You can also go up to 256. It's like 874, which is still not a bad price for a device. It comes with 8 gigabytes of memory and 256 gigabytes of storage. So, yeah,
it does look pretty sleek, though.
Yeah, I do actually like the design of the Surfaces. I mean, they're a lot. I feel like they copied a lot from Apple when they built their Surface designs, but
yeah,
I could see that.
Like, I do like the Surface. If I had to walk around with a Windows laptop, I would want a Surface. So, but I wouldn't want a decked out Surface. My wife has a Surface for work, and it's pretty sweet.
Plus, it was Surface Go branding, which I haven't seen before, so that leads me to believe it's kind of like
I think that's their budget.
Yeah, they have a Surface Go tablet one. I think it's $400, 4 gigs of RAM as well. It's not the fastest one. I would upgrade that one as well to 8 gigs of RAM, but I mean, it's not bad for if you're looking for the cheapest possible option. Those are good options.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll go next because I'm in the Slack next with my stuff.
Cool. I'm curious about the duplicate objects that I have seen here.
So, let's I will start out with this one here. So this is the Logitech MX Master 3 Advanced Wireless Mouse, which is I have the 2S. So the last version that was released before this one, and I absolutely love it. It is a fantastic device that fits in your hand really nice. Is very comfortable. It charges. This one charges via USB-C. Mine charges regular USB, but or micro USB. But yeah, it's very complex. If you have two different devices, you can actually work on controlling it based on your devices and stuff like that. So it's got software built into it, so that you can program it too. And then it's also, you can program like the scrolling tools and stuff like that to do different things. It's got lots of buttons on the sides, as you can see. So it's got the two buttons down here at the bottom. And then it has the scrolling here on the sides as well. So if you're doing video editing or stuff like that, you could program that to do different things. And then you have the scroll wheel up here. And then you have the basic Logitech buttons here and here for right and left. Fits very comfortable in my hand. It is absolutely one of my favorite mouses. I'm using it right now.
It looks really sleek.
Yeah. I noticed on one of the pictures, it looked like it was copying a file from one computer to another. Can it do that?
Yes, I think it can.
Yeah. That's interesting. It would have to like store it on the mouse
Yeah,
and then paste it from the mouse to the other computer.
Yeah, so you can use software and transfer it from different devices. So
or if it's on the network.
Yeah, I think it has to be on the network.
Okay.
So it has to be on the network. You can't just do it without that. But
it's not a floating USB stick.
That's still super cool.
Yeah, it is.
And then it uses it comes with a receiver in it. I don't use the receiver. I use the Bluetooth. Some people have said that the older version, so the version 2, prior to mine, just the standard 2, there's a lot of connectivity issues with it. I haven't encountered a lot of connectivity issues with mine. The cool thing though is you can set it for up to 3 different devices. So I have my work computer, I have my desktop or my work computer, my iPad, and my personal computer all connected to it, which is really nice. So I don't have to really switch it. I will say I also have the MX Master light up keyboard that goes with it as well. So if you really want a good device, that's also something. It ranges around $100 too as well. So this is a good device for if you're working at home or from a setting device. However, if you're like me, well, not right now, but you do like to travel sometimes and you like to bring along your computer, you might want a mouse that you can travel with, and that is this device right here.
Okay,
so
this is like a sleek white space mice.
Yeah, mouse. So this is the Logitech Ms Anywhere 3. It's the slightly small, more compact version of the MX Master, which is really nice as well. So it fits comfortably in your hand. Very nice, sleek design.
I really like how that looks.
Yeah, it is nice. I don't have this one yet, but it is on my Christmas list. So.
What's the other option it has with you can get it with the keyboard? Is that the other option is the one?
So you can get it with the keyboard that I have here. Hold on, let me get out of this. So you can pair it with the keyboard and get the MX Master's keys. You can also do that with the MX Master 3 as well. You can pair it and get both of them together. I like to have a different mouse when I carry my device around. The MX Master 3 is just kind of big. So
yeah, This has like the portability factor to it.
Yeah. So again, it connects up to 3 devices, USB-C charging.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is very nice.
I wonder how durable those silicone side grips are, like how much that would wear down or how fast that would wear down.
I have it on mine. I don't think it wears down as much. So the MX Master 3 kind of has the silicone area there on it as well. So
I have like one of the top world's worst mice, so seeing these gives me a little bit of ideas of what's out there that I can switch to.
Yeah. So the MX Master or the MX Anywhere 3 just came out, so works on both PC and Mac, any tablets. Let's see. Go to. So obviously, security is a big, important thing to all of us. We never, ever want to, lose passwords or get anything hacked or anything like that. And I recently watched a YouTube video of a review of this device. So this is a UBO, I think it is, YubiKey 5C NFC, and it is a two-factor authentication device. So you can set up with your passwords to store your passwords in it. You can connect it to your computer, and then it'll automatically log you into like your Facebook account, Twitter account, any type of those things. So it gives you a better security overall. A lot of businesses use these type of things. This one has NFC also, so you can just, like, if you're on your tablet or your Android or iOS device, you can just tap it up against your phone, and it will automatically log in to whatever you're trying to log into. So if you're trying to log into Facebook or any of those services, then it'll automatically work. It also works with 1Password and other password keepers and stuff like that too. I don't actually have this, but this again is on my list for 2020. I use 1Password for all my two-factor authentication, but I am looking at possibly migrating to this as well. And it's relatively cheap for $55. It is pretty good. It also comes in USB, regular USB or USB-C. There's lots of different versions of it that you can get. So if you don't, I have USB-C devices. My Macs and everything are all USB-C. So USB-C would fit me, but if regular USB would fit you, then that might be the device for you that you would pick. So, and then you can obviously get a 2-pack for, $110, which is pretty good too. So if you have a spouse or whatnot, this is, really good. And it's lightweight to carry around too. So just put it right on your keychain.
Should get 50 of them.
Hand those out for Christmas.
You get a 4% discount. I mean, come on.
That's pretty good, actually.
I would be interested to see you use that in a real world application, and then let us know how well that actually works out for you.
Yeah. So I really want to try it out and see how it works. So, security has always been really good for me. I lock down every one of my accounts with two-factor authentication that's possible. I scramble my passwords with multiple different passwords. I keep them all in 1Password. It's all stored. It's like 22 ridiculously long characters for, symbols, numbers, everything. So I'm very protective of my passwords and stuff like that. So, and then I have the 1Password family, which is really nice too. So my wife can see my passwords as well. If anything were ever happen to me, she would have all the access to my, accounts as well, if she ever needed to get into anything of mine or whatnot. So
that's a good idea, because I use 1Password too, and if like all my passwords and when my mom passed away, she used RoboForm, which is basically kind of like 1Password, and like my dad didn't have access. He was trying to get something with her 401k or retirement or something like that. He was trying to get some information, and he didn't have her password. And I'm sitting at her computer sitting at her computer desk, and I'm just like trying to figure out what her password could be. And I look up, and there's a sticky note on her computer desk, and lo and behold, that was the password.
I think I remember you telling me about that story before in the past. So.
But it was because of you that I started using 1Password, and I'm curious to see how that works with 1Password.
Me too, because I
1Password versus using a master password.
Yeah, so I have all my two-factor authentications in there too. So I don't know how this is going to work with my two-factor authentication, if I can still use 1Password or this, or if I have to just use completely this all the time. So I will be interested to see how it works. But I'll definitely, even if I don't get it for Christmas, I'm going to buy it anyways. So
you're going to buy the big pack, right?
Yeah, no. But if they wanted to send one to us, we should all get one, and then we could review it.
Heck yeah!
I think that would be I would think that would be a cool thing to review. So, yeah. So, and then last, I know we're running closely on time here. So last here, Apple Watch SE.
Of course.
Great device. Great. If you have Apple devices, this is a must for anybody in your family. And it's, a great option. So the the Apple Watch SE is my last holiday pick for 2020.
And there are a lot of really good Apple Watch deals this holiday season. I mean,
yeah,
if you're looking for something a little bit cheaper, I mean, you can get one for, I think, as cheap as like $180 off Amazon coming up on Black Friday. They got the GPS version of the Series 3. I mean, you can
yeah, definitely. You don't have to get the SE, but like you can find some great deals on Apple Watches. So I definitely think it's worth checking out. So who wants to go next, Roy or
I mean, I didn't find a whole lot myself. I was, super busy this week. It's mostly just Apple things that I found on Black Friday deal that I thought was pretty good. But the Apple Watch was probably the biggest one. I know that if Matt is interested in getting himself a new iPhone,
Yeah.
you can get one. I think the cheapest deal that I found was Walmart. You can get through Straight Talk either a 10R for $299 or a SE second generation for $199.
Those are pretty good prices, actually.
$200, you can go get yourself an iPhone SE.
And an Apple refurbished kind of thing, because I'd be worried about
It doesn't say they're renewed. It just says Apple iPhone SE second generation, 64 gigabyte.
All right, I will look into that. So I'll put that on my potential Christmas list. Sorry,
and then you had something, Matt, right? Let me see.
Yes, I had 3 things. The first thing is a headset by the company called Anchor. I have purchased a lot of products from them over the years. I love their design style and their build quality. This particular headset is the Soundcore Bluetooth headset. It's wireless, not true wireless though, so it has a headband with it. I work and get to listen to like podcasts and headphones all day, and sometimes at night I come home, I kind of throw my headphones somewhere and I forget to charge them. This thing has a 24-hour playtime battery, and it's usually good like basically for 2 of my work days based on how I use my listening pattern, based on my listening pattern. So I can go through 2 days with this. It's freaking amazing.
That's pretty good.
You can charge it. It says you can get up to 2 hours of playtime in about 5 minutes. I actually find that I sometimes get more than that. I get closer to 4 off of like a 5-minute charge. It runs on USB-C also. It's waterproof, so you can listen to it in the shower, which I was hesitant to do, but I started doing recently because I've been reading some good books. So it's a great device. One of the features that it has I don't use very often is that you can kind of like the Logitech mice that you showed, Matt, this can connect to 2 devices. So one of the use cases is like if you want to listen to something on one device, like a tablet or a Kindle or something, and you want to take a call on another device, like a cell phone, it can bridge between those 2 devices and make calls and listen. So it's been an incredibly handy device. So the next one is something that I mentioned, I think, on the podcast before. This is the Net Dot company. They make, I don't know exactly what to call them, magnetic fast charging data transfer cables with magnetic tips or nubs that you can plug into all of your devices and attach this cable to those nubs and disconnect it really easily. So I have.
This is a MagSafe knockoff, okay? This is. They stole this technology from Apple.
If MagSafe worked on things other than Apple devices, it would be great for the rest of us.
It worked. It didn't work on other devices, but yeah. They definitely stole this idea from Apple.
Like, what? Then Apple should have been first to market selling this to everybody, because this is what I originally bought this because Apple cables, I don't have very many of them. So you can buy something like this and you can get their starter pack. Comes with 3 cables and 9 tips. I got 3 iPhone tips, 3 USB-C tips, 3 micro USB tips. So that's 9 devices I can plug all of these things to, and this cable can transfer between all of those tips. So I have tablets, I have cell phones, portable chargers you can plug these little nubs into. So like here, I have a cell phone, connects really, really easily. It doesn't pull the nub out, really easy to connect. I think I even have a portable charger around here. So it's a really easy way to just connect something, forget about it. You don't have to worry. And if you have multiple different devices in your household, it makes it really convenient.
I will admit that is a really nifty idea.
It is really cool.
Yeah, like video game controllers, tablets, portable chargers, headphones, just kind of, it streamlines the charging process. And I made the mistake of getting the one with the light around it, which is actually a little too bright at night. It's a little bit too uncomfortable when I'm trying to sleep. I have a metal bed frame that I can magnetize this to so that I can just grab it really quick when I want to charge something. And having it no, it's fine. Like, you can probably see it over this ear, that blue light right there. And like in this brightness, you can still see it. So you'll find it at night if you need to, which is kind of funny. Okay, so that's the Net.tips. And the last thing, super straightforward. It's just the Dyson Animal cordless vacuum cleaner line. I have this particular cordless vacuum. It's super handy. You can it has this long shaft or pole or whatever that can detach from the main vacuum console, and you can use that just handle vacuum to vacuum into small spaces. Oh, see, Matt has one right there. Which one is that?
This is the V7.
Oh, so you got the V7. Yeah.
Yeah. Sits on my wall in the back. Here, let me pull it up full screen here.
Yeah, it has a dock that you can like mount it into.
Yeah, I have the dock mounted in my office. So
nice.
But yeah, it's really nice. And you can replace this tip and you can put little tips on it and stuff like that. It's got lots of suction. You can use it like that. It also has a max feature too, so you can put it over in max and really.
And that's one of the things that I talked to someone about. Like, they were worried about this vacuum because it doesn't make a lot of noise, so it sounds like it doesn't have a lot of suction.
It doesn't, but it has a lot of power, even if you can't hear it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a pretty fantastic vacuum for how convenient it is to use, and it makes spontaneous. Oh, I need to vacuum that scenarios just really convenient. You can also bring the detachable vacuum handle out into your car if you want to clean your car or clean really anything. Your keyboard, it's great for all kinds of scenarios.
I see it. It's actually sitting in behind your
Yep.
thing right there as well,
Right
too.
there.
So, yeah. So, do you mount yours on the wall at all, or?
No, I've been hesitant to because I live in an apartment and the nails are pretty vicious looking. So I've just kind of kept the dock next to where I would mount it, and I haven't asked my landlord if he's okay with that yet. But I
didn't ask for permission. I just did it.
Well,
said,
see,
I'll fix the walls. I'll fix the walls when I leave.
That is that's the pro move.
Like literally, I've mounted my TV in 3 different places. It used to be back here. It used to be higher up, and then it moved down, and then I moved it over here, and I patched up the wall each time. So I've become pretty much a good person at patching up walls. So I got no problem with it.
All right. Do you have a drill?
I do.
Oh, see, I need to get a drill. That's the next step.
Yeah, I do. It's definitely needed for something like this.
That would have been a great segue if you had a drill on your list. I'm just saying.
I know. I do need a drill though. That's something that I should have looked up. And I wanted to mention these because I have seriously considered getting like something like a Roomba, like a servant robot, but I'm not sold on their efficiency and their pathfinding yet versus the cost that you have to pay for them.
Yeah, so me and my wife have talked about it. I would like to have a robotic vacuum cleaner. We have a puppy now who, for the most part, goes to the bathroom outside. But let's say if she didn't and she ended up doing number 2 in the house, if it would actually stop at the poop, or whether it would go over the poop and spread it all over the house. Like
that's a very important question.
That's what she's worried about. So, so kind of see. So,
I've used a Roomba before, and I actually got one for my wife probably like 3-4 years ago. So it's an older one, and it works. It works pretty well. The problem is that you set it to run, and until it's like really mapped out the room, it just goes forever over the same spots over and over again until it is finally decided that the room is clean. So I mean, you can waste like an entire charge easily. I mean, I think the first time it ran in our large living room, the place we were living at the time, it ran out of battery in the first clean because it was still trying to map everything out.
And I'm not about that. I'm not about over time it's supposed to get better and it's supposed to build the map of the space.
And this was also 3-4 years ago, and it wasn't a brand new model at the time. We got a good deal on it off of Amazon. I don't remember what model it was, but I wasn't. I mean, for the. Because I'm not going to run it at night when my kids, because they were little at the time, I'm not going to run it at night while they're trying to sleep. I was going to run during the daytime. And for the inconvenience of like trying to not be in its way and whatnot, it's.
Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry.
Well, because it's trying to map it out, so you don't want it to bump into you or bump into something that you're doing that wouldn't traditionally be there. So to me, it was more of an inconvenience than getting out my Dyson vacuum that I have and spending 10 minutes vacuuming my floor.
My mom got a Roomba from my dad one day, and whenever she loves it, but whenever she uses it, she puts like chairs in the way. She blocks everything off so that it can't leave the room, because otherwise it'll end up somehow in the bathroom, and then
there's no way out of here. I don't understand.
I would like to see, and I was just talking about this to my wife too, but I have an R2D2, a big giant life-size R2D2. I'd like to get a Roomba and attach him to the top of it, or have a R2D2 version of a Roomba and come around and clean my house every day. Like, I feel like that would be kind of cool.
Why isn't that a thing?
I know, exactly. Have you guys Roomba? You guys should get on that.
Yeah.
And Roomba, if you want to send us a Roomba vacuum cleaner, we'll take it.
Can you imagine a Millennium Falcon Roomba just running around your house? It'd be fantastic.
That would be awesome.
I'm sure Disney's
Baby Yoda.
Just Baby Yoda's head.
No, it's the Baby Yoda and his little that little whatever that floaty thing he floats around in.
Yeah, the little case that he comes in, I guess you could say it.
His little
it's a bad way to say it.
Thing.
His Hubbard vehicle. Yeah, definitely.
I was gonna ask, have you guys ever heard of the robot lawnmowers that they have?
That sounds scary.
No.
So my dad owns a lawnmower shop and he sells them, and he bought one for his own house, and it's exactly like a Roomba, except it's a lawnmower and it just drives around the yard every few hours, however often he wants. It's from Husqvarna.
3 o'clock in the morning. He
used to do that. So he used to run them only at night, and then he started doing it during the day, and it's not that dangerous. It's got like the blade's like about the size, is very tiny. It's a very small blade.
I could just see the lawnmower running out. I could just see the lawnmower running down the street. And somebody running, chasing them down the street.
Okay, but I can just imagine some drug addict like hurting themselves on that tiny blade because they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking up the video, or I'm looking it up right now. Let's see here. You can also like control it with your phone as well, and do some.
You know what? Just because you said it's got a really small blade and everything, I just thought of the episode of Home Improvement where Tim gets the riding lawnmower and goes on a with what Bob, who's the
Bob Vila.
Bob Vila, yeah, he goes on
race.
And the lawnmower race, and it's like, yeah, it's just crazy.
I just sent the link in the private chat.
Okay, hold on. I gotta share my screen again. Let's see here.
It's pretty cool. It's funny because once in a while, if it finds like a tall patch of grass, it'll just start going in circles to try and get it all. So I'll look out the window and just see the robot lawnmower just going and driving in circles in the yard. It's so stupid.
I do hate mowing my lawn though.
It's the coolest like party trick whenever there's like people over.
Oh.
It's all
That thing looks like a car.
Yeah. We typically will call it what do we call it? A turtle.
Oh yeah.
It's
yeah.
just crawling around, and then it goes back to its charger when it's done.
Oh no, poor robot lawnmower has to mow in the lawn in the rain. That's so sad. It had this really depressing scene of the lawnmower.
How much do those run?
Jumping for
they're in the thousands.
Oh, totally not worth it. I'm sorry.
You can save $500 this Black Friday.
Oh, them Black Friday deals.
Will your dad price match that Black Friday deal?
I don't speak for the company.
Would he be willing to give one to Roy to review?
Ooh.
There
we go.
Probably not.
Just a demo.
Probably not.
I tried convincing him to give one to like a YouTuber. He's like, no, that's no. I'm like, but someone will make a video. He's like, no, I don't care.
That's a pretty big chunk of change for probably
not
enough advertisement.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, should we end on robotic lawnmowers as holiday gift 2020?
I think so. I think
robotic lawnmowers is the perfect 2020 holiday gift.
Right.
I mean, you shouldn't be going outside, so use your robotic lawnmower.
You should use a robotic lawnmower inside as a replacement for the Roombas. It's so big, it'll just vacuum up everything. Might also do some damage to your furniture, but we're not talking about that. You needed new furniture anyway.
Wow.
Anyways, thank you guys. Thank you all for joining us on today's episode of the Goopplycast. I've been your host, Matt Carter. For Matt, Roy, and Tim, thank you very much for watching and listening, and we will catch you next time.